The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, San Antonio, the great state of Texas. Hey, I used to live in Dallas for, probably about 20 years. What a great state. And San Antonio is just such a beautiful city. Oh, do we have a great show for you for the next 25 minutes? We are right in the middle of Medicare enrollment, and it is so important that you have a good agent. I'm on Medicare. I'm not embarrassed to admit it. And I got to tell you that my first agent was horrible. I mean, literally horrible. And I learned that you've got to have a good agent. Don't try to do this on your own. I see there's a lot of national commercials out there that, first of all, Medicare is different by county. You could live in the same state, but you could be in a different county, and the benefits are so much different. So, unlike what I did, I was so uneducated about Medicare, so uneducated, I missed an entire year. Also, I got penalized, and I don't want that happening to you. Uh, Open enrollment is going on right now, and we found the greatest San Antonio agent. The name of their company is called Medicare Gals. What a great name for a company, the Signature Team. And we're waiting on, listen, this is a very, very busy time for Medicare agents. I mean, there's millions of people who are under Medicare. And believe it or not, there's actually insurance companies that no longer are offering Medicare anymore. So even if you have Medicare, you want to make sure you've got a great agent. And the fact is that you can really, it can be so costly to you by not having a good agent. I'm just going to, I'm just going to just make sure. Yes, I just wanted to make sure we are on in so many different time periods around the country, and sometimes I will literally screw up and forget they're on a different uh, time that we are on. But I just checked my email, and yes, I gave them the right time. But again, this is a very busy time for Medicare. And I got to tell people that my first agent was horrible. He was an independent agent. So he actually had access to many companies. And he basically pushed one company. I wasn't even given a choice. So I think the first thing, if you do have a new agent and they're an independent agent, that they give you other options because my agent didn't give me another option. He basically said, "This is what you got. It's the best out there." And I was like, he's an agent. He should know. Um, so it turned out it was not a good policy for me, and there were better policies out there that he did not even show me. And also about uh, when my second year came up last year, uh, I contacted him and he said, let's just go with the same company he went with. And I knew then this guy was not a good agent. And I made some calls to friends of mine who were on Medicare and to see if they liked their agent. I found a incredible agent here in Florida, and what a difference a good agent makes, because this agent gave me about 5 or 6 plans, why one plan was better than the other. Because we all have different needs, and, some people love their doctor, they like their specialist, so they're gonna go with a PPO plan. Some people, it doesn't matter. They just kind of trust the doctors that are in the plan, the HMO doctors that are in the plan, which I end up doing. And I got to tell you, and listen, it's up to you whether you want to go HMO or PPO. But I got to tell you that I went with an HMO, and after that, I needed a knee replacement, so I had to use one of their doctors in the plan, and he was terrific. I also had to have another specialist, and that specialist turned out to be wonderful. You think because, well, you have to go with their doctors that maybe they're second rate. And I'm telling you, that I've had some of the best specialists. So I went with the HMO. It's a little bit less expensive, but I got to tell you, I don't know what I would do without Medicare. We've paid into it all of our lives, and I gotta tell you, it has saved me so much money, and I hear about what other people are paying for their health insurance, and I'm just so blessed to have Medicare. So, I've had friends of mine that haven't liked Medicare, but I gotta tell you folks, when it's time for you to go on Medicare, I've actually had several agents tell me that they could not wait to go on Medicare. And these are actually agents, insurance agents. Uh, it's something special. We've paid for it all of our lives. And it's so important that you get a good agent. That's why we bring you the Medicare gals here. Let me give you their phone number. It's 210-767 9876. This and their website is www.medicaregals. I guess it's slash st.com, and it's they are such a great company. We've had so many people who have called us and thanked us for turning them on to the Medicare gals, the signature team. Susan Shimp is so good at what she does. You know what we've tried to do, because we could have had plenty of choices. One of the things we try to do, especially in our Medicare shows we do across the country, is to find an agent that really does care about people. In other words, they're not just in it for the sales. Um, we wanted to find people who really care. And me making so many mistakes in the beginning, that it is so important that not only do you find a good agent who's going to go the extra mile, because Folks, they do, you would not believe all the work that they do to give you the best plans. There's a lot of research that they have to do. Most of our agents are all independent, which means they represent a lot of different companies. And that means that you get a choice. You get a choice on companies and what works works best for you. I noticed that Susan still isn't here yet. This is the busiest time of the year for Medicare agents. And I'm not even surprised really that because I just spoke to her yesterday, and I'm really not surprised because they literally have thousands of people that they work with. And there is so much work to be done. And the enrollment period, I think it's over December the 7th. So with between the Thanksgiving holidays, there's not a lot of time left. So here they are working with thousands of people in a short window because it just started last month. And I guess I'm not surprised. Uh, in fact, the last show we did was our New York Medicare show, and he's been telling me that he normally has some of his agents on the show with him, and it was just him by himself this time because all of his agents are out in the field. This is literally their busiest time of the year. But folks, listen, if you're turning 65, I am telling you, you want to find a good agent like Susan Shemp here in San Antonio. Again, her phone number is 210-767-9876. The name of her company is Medicare Gals. She handles the entire San Antonio area. I noticed we've got a few calls on our last show from New Brunsville. She does handle the New Brunsville area. We actually got a few calls from Laredo area, and she able to work with them. But I'm sure that's the reason why she's not here yet. Um, so I'm actually trying to take our expert, and I am no expert in this except that I have been on Medicare for the last 2 years, and I know how important it is. And I also know that if you don't do it on time, if you don't get signed up on time, there are penalties involved. And that's what I had to go through. I had to pay penalties. Um, and if I would have known about a show like this 2 years ago, because as 2 years ago, our show is every single time slot we have is filled with different areas like legal, health, financial, and home improvement. So we didn't even have an open position to do a Medicare show, but we kept getting so many of you, our listeners and viewers, asking us to add a Medicare show. We said, we're going to add one this year. We got some more time with W4CY Talk TV. And this year we tried to add a Medicare show in probably most of the 20 states that we cover. And we were able to get lucky enough to find Susan Shimp. She has been doing Medicare for the last I believe it's 12 years. She's very experienced. She's built up a great company, a company that you can trust, a company that uh, you're going to get the best advice from. And again, uh, I waited too long. And it was funny because a friend of mine said, um, because we were at my birthday party, and he said, "You did sign up for Medicare, right?" And I went, "No, I didn't know I was supposed to sign up. I actually thought it just automatically would start when I turned 65. Doesn't work that way." And I missed the enrollment period, not knowing. And this show here is probably this time of the year one of the most important shows that we do because, again, when you're turning 65, you have no idea um, who to listen to. I mean, I see all these national commercials that come on, and uh, if it's different for every county, how in the world can you listen to a national commercial and get the right advice from them? Again, because every count, even though this is federal and it's backed by the US government, every county is different. So I guess I'm trying to use Susan's time. And again, I apologize. I know that this is such a busy time of the year for Susan. So no hard feelings. But I think because I went through so many tough times with Medicare, I don't want you to have to go through what I went through. So if you've got a friend or a relative that you know is getting ready to turn 65 and they have not enrolled in Medicare, uh, it is so important that you tell them that now's the time. They don't have but about 3 weeks left to enroll, and if they miss that window, they're going to be like I was in the beginning, and it was very costly. I actually missed an entire year of my prescriptions. Um, if I'd have enrolled in Medicare on time, I would have paid next to nothing on my prescriptions for a whole year. But once you miss it, you have to wait an entire year, and I don't want that happening to you. So again, that's why this show is so important. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people who will be going back to listen to the show or watch the show. We are on iHeart, YouTube. We're on about 70 or 80 platforms, but the big ones that I can remember are Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, Spreaker, Apple. Those are just a few of the platforms that our show runs on. You can go back and watch this show on YouTube. I know it's under choosing a Ask the Experts is the name of our show. Choosing a Medicare plan that's good for you, San Antonio. And that's the best way to go back and watch this show. Again, I understand, I want to apologize for those of you who wanted to listen to Susan this morning. These things happen during Medicare. I've already actually had three of our Medicare experts who had to cancel, and we just ran a replay because they're that busy this time of the year. Now, their show is going to be running throughout the year. And as we get into January, It'll be a lot easier. We'll be talking about supplemental insurance starting in January. Um, Again, I want you to write this down. The name of the company of our experts is Medicare Gals, the signature team, and their phone number is 210-767-9876. You want to ask for Susan Shemp. Tell her you heard about this on the Ask the Expert show. And I'm telling you that she will take all the guesswork out of your hands. They will handle everything. They don't charge for this. There's no fee for this. Um, and she will bring you, or her group, because she's got such a great group, will bring you um, multiple plans. Now, again, what's happening is a lot of these insurance companies are pulling out of markets. And you might be with an insurance company with your Medicare that has pulled out of your market. And unless you have an agent, um, you might not know this. I mean, they might send you something in the mail, but all the mail I get from my insurance company all looks the same. Again, I'm going to give you this number one more time. It's Medicare Gals, the signature team, and it's www.medicaregals-st.com. Their phone number is 210-767-9876. You want to ask for Susan Shemp, and I'm telling you, it will be the best move that you can make. This is going to do it for us today. I can't believe I spoke for an entire 25 minutes on a topic I'm not an expert in, though that is the name of the show. We bring you experts in, but I hope that we at least directed you to the right agent if you're in the San Antonio area. Susan will be back again with us next month. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you, Rebel, for all your great work. And we'll be back with you next week with more Ask the Experts.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.